All right, today we're diving into a story of a man whose quiet, simple life created this incredibly powerful spiritual legend, one that's still a huge deal in Thailand and way beyond. We're talking about Luang Pu Toh of Wat Pradu Chimphli.
Just take a look at this photograph. I mean, it really says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you have the King of Thailand, His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej, Rama V, a monarch who is absolutely revered by millions. And on the other, you have this humble, elderly monk. Now look at the king's gesture. He's not just shaking his hand, he is bowing his head and gently supporting the monk's arm. That is a sign of the absolute deepest respect. This single moment, it tells you there's a profound story here. So, it just begs the question, right? Who was this monk? What kind of spiritual power did he have to earn that level of reverence from the king himself? That's the mystery we're unpacking today, and believe me, the answer goes so much deeper than just one photograph.
And here's the thing, this wasn't some one-off formal meeting or a photo op. Nope. We know that King Bhumibol made tons of private visits to Luang Pu Toh's temple, Wat Pradu Chimphli. These weren't public events, they were personal trips for deep, one-on-one spiritual talks with the monk.
Just think about the ripple effect of that for a second. In Thailand, when the king, who is seen as this pillar of righteousness, shows that kind of deep personal respect for a monk, it's like the ultimate seal of approval. It was a national endorsement that basically put a giant spotlight on Luang Pu Toh, taking him from a beloved local monk to a spiritual icon for the entire country. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know who he was.
So, who was the man that sparked all this reverence? To really get it, we have to rewind the clock and go back to the very beginning of his long, long life.
His life was just this incredible testament to focus. Born way back in 1887, he became a monk when he was just a teenager, and he never looked back. He was fully ordained at 20, and get this, by the time he was only 26, he was made the abbot of his temple. He held that job for an incredible 69 years, right up until he passed away at 93. This wasn't just a long life, it was a life completely devoted to one single path.
But look, his fame wasn't just because he lived a long time or ran a temple. No, it was rooted in something much deeper. It was the intensity of his spiritual practice that really became the stuff of legend.
So at the heart of his practice was something called vipassana, or insight meditation. Now, this isn't just about, chilling out and clearing your mind for a few minutes. The whole point of vipassana is to gain this deep, penetrating insight into how reality actually works, to see things exactly as they are. This is seen as the path to real wisdom and ultimately freedom from suffering. And Luang Pu Toh? He was considered an absolute master of it. And that deep practice led to some pretty extraordinary experiences. One of the most famous stories about him is this vision he had while he was meditating. He said he saw 8 immortals from Chinese folklore appear, and they were there to announce the arrival of Guan Yin, the bodhisattva of compassion. And the message he said he received was, well, it was fascinatingly specific. Guan Yin supposedly told him he was now a disciple of the Mahayana path, and that he had to stop eating beef and buffalo meat. At first, he kind of resisted, but the story goes that every time he ignored the vision and ate it, he got sick. So eventually, he accepted it as part of his spiritual journey, a really unique blend of traditions.
So you have this intense spiritual life, this blending of different traditions, this deep meditative power, and all of that energy, all that focus got poured into the physical objects that he's probably most famous for today, his sacred amulets.
And the most iconic one is the Phra Phiksu amulet. The name literally means closing the eyes. The image itself, a monk covering his face with his hands, is packed with symbolism. It's all about shutting out the noise and distractions of the outside world, all the things that come in through the 9 doors of the body, so you can find that deep inner peace and focus. Now, Luang Pu Toh made several batches of these Phra Phiksu amulets over the years, but a few of them, well, they have become truly legendary, each with its own incredible story and a really powerful name.
And the power of these stories is just amazing. For example, back in 1978, the temple really needed money for renovations. A special batch of amulets was made, and the donations from people who received them came to over 1 million baht. That was a mind-blowing amount of money back then.
And that very event gave birth to the Phra Phiksu Kaeo, which literally means the millionaire amulet. Then there's another famous one, the Phra Phiksu Ploi, or the debt-releasing amulet. It got its name because Luang Pu Toh would give it to people with the blessing, "May you be free of all your debts." And you can't forget the Jumbo one, made for his 90th birthday, famous for its bigger, chunkier size. You see, every name tells a story of faith and hope.
So what is this perceived power, the Phra Athikarn,
of these amulets? Well, if you talk to believers, you'll hear story after story. People talk about experiencing more luck, better fortune, success in their business, and something called metta mahanyom, which is like this special charm that makes other people treat you with kindness. A lot of people also believe they provide klao klat, which is protection from accidents and danger.
Okay, so it's really easy to get caught up in all these miraculous stories. But here's the thing. Luang Pu Toh himself taught that the little piece of clay was only one part of the equation. The real power, he said, wasn't just inside the object.
He gave his followers this incredibly profound teaching. He said, yes, a true amulet can absolutely help a person succeed in everything they do.
But, and this is a huge but, he taught that the power only works if the person wearing it is a good person and, this is crucial, shows gratitude to their parents. The amulet wasn't a magic charm to get whatever you want. It was a reminder, a catalyst for your own virtue. The real power, he taught, came from the wearer's own good heart and good actions.
And that right there brings us to the very heart of his legacy. It's a legacy that is so much bigger than just collectible objects or fantastic stories.
So when you pull it all together, what do you see? You see a true master of meditation. You see a devoted abbot who spent nearly 70 years building up his temple for the community. And yes, you see the creator of these legendary amulets that inspire so much faith. But maybe most importantly, you see a teacher whose core message always pointed people back to themselves, telling them that the real source of any miracle is living a good and virtuous life.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The story of Luang Pu Toh shows this powerful link between an object, our own faith, and our actions. So it makes you wonder, what is the true source of a miracle? Is it the sacred object itself, or is it the faith? And more importantly, the good deeds that the object inspires within us? That's the real question at the heart of this monk's incredible legend.